Back again, crossing the medium.
Yo, 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 yo.
It's your boy, Big Rob.
I'm Jake.
Today I'm Big Rob, right?
Yep. Bigger than every other
normal.
day.
Yeah. So my name is Rob. Welcome back to Crossing the Medium. Today's episode, we're talking about the dark. I feel like we should have prompted the lights to turn off in here when we said that.
Yeah, that probably would have been
Kind of cool move. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the dark, man.
What
Nighttime,
lives in the dark.
What goes on? Why do ghosts only pop up in the dark time?
They're scared of the light.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, man. Imagine.
But I've seen like the Ring doorbell images where you're looking out in the street and then you see that like dark like mist shadowy thing go by. I've seen it in the Ring cameras.
Do you believe those?
The Ring cameras?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just a recording device. It's the same as everything else. You see with your eyes, you see with it's just how you just, whether it could be a photograph, a video, a Ring camera. For me, I think that's all telling. But it is interesting that majority, I'd say 99.99% of paranormal activity tends to happen at night and in the dark. And hauntings in those movies are always in the dark. First of all, let me ask you real quick. Are you afraid of the dark?
No. I was when I was a kid, for sure. When the lights go off and you have to run up the stairs really quick before the demon catches you before you get into bed. I definitely had my time where I was afraid of the dark and what was in the closet and what was under the bed. But now, I think that with enough life experience, I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. Okay. I kind of embrace it almost.
You embrace the dark? You sound like Bane from Batman.
I was born in the darkness.
I forget that. What a great movie quote
that is a great quote. You barely adopted it.
Yes, yeah. That was good.
All right, so the fear of dark, nyctophobia. What do you feel about that?
Nyctophobia. We're bringing out the terminology here.
Bringing the scientific words.
Dang. Fear of the dark. I feel like everyone, per their genetic human behavior, the way you're wired, the way that it's not really something learned but inherited, is that everyone's afraid of the dark. At least until they learn to not be afraid of the dark, right?
And how do you learn to not be afraid of the dark?
I think
it's just like an age. You flip that switch and you're like, okay, I'm not afraid.
I don't think it's an age. I think what it is it's more or less a comfortability in that moment, right?
Okay.
You learn to live with it. In the same way that, like, if you get a crappy job, you might hate it and you don't want to be there, but then after a while, you get used to it, and then next thing you know, you're 10 years in and retiring. And so I think the dark is very similar to that. I think that as you live longer and you don't get essentially hurt by the dark, and the things that you're scared of that might be there don't ever come out, then at this point, you're like, okay, there isn't anything there. Nothing to be scared of, right? They always say there's nothing to be scared of. Why? Because, well, hey, day in and day out, nothing pops out at you.
Well, here's an interesting fact.
Unless things do, and you're like that guy that gets, terrorized in the dark.
Yeah. I guess that in modern terms, it's not really, nyctophobia isn't really the fear of the darkness, but it's more of the fear of what lies in the darkness, the unknown, the unexplained that you can't see because it's dark.
Yeah, well, you also get a heightened sense of sensory in the dark. And so it's just like any of those superhero movies, or you always hear the thing like, hey, once you take away one sense, your other ones become heightened, right? And so if it's dark, you can't see. So your vision, which is your number one sense, in my opinion, right? The one that you rely on the most, you drive your car all off of vision, you walk around. And so it being your probably most dominant sense, the removal of that now opens up all of your other senses. So now you hear clear, right? You can hear that sound. That's like, why do you hear the sounds, the creaking, the small whispers? Why do you hear those in the dark? It's because your sensories are amplified. And so if you're trying to communicate or you're curious about the other side of paranormal, or to communicate with spirits, or you just want to observe more, take away senses. Instead of muddying the waters, right? I mean, think of it this way. If you're doing an activity with five different things, and say you have a job, you got 5 different things to do. You're at a factory and you gotta pull this lever and grab this and make sure this doesn't fall off. It's gonna be hard to focus. So now if you dwindle that down into one job, it becomes easier to do that job and master it.
Right.
And so if you're out here searching for ghosts and paranormal activity or sounds, or you're really tuned in, turn the lights off.
And
immerse yourself.
Heighten that for you.
Yeah. You can smell better. You can hear
Smell
better.
those ghost farts?
You can taste everything. Yeah, smell them ghost farts, bro.
Man.
Those ghost farts smell like straight rotten cheese, bro.
Yeah.
That shit is from the
That's
dead.
all that's all they have in the afterlife. Just cheese. That's all they eat out there.
Yeah, it's got to be blue cheese, 100%. If there's any cheese that comes from ghosts, it's that blue cheese, bro.
It's that blue
thing is
cheese.
funky.
So where do you think this all originated from? Where do you think some little kid was just, I'm afraid of the dark, and people just all of a sudden, formed it and went with it and ran with it?
I mean, it's essentially ingrained in our human nature, going back as far as written text, right? You look at religion, it's based on the light versus the dark.
Yeah.
Right. And so the dark has always been associated with evil, with the devil. And it's just as simple as that, light versus the dark. And so both in religion and our human element is to naturally be afraid of the dark until you conquer it, until you get brave enough. And so I just think that that's just something that always lingers is the fear of the dark. And even now, if the power were to go out right now in this room and it was pitch black dark,
I'd be pretty scared.
You would instant, like, I don't care if you're afraid of the dark. You're going to, at that moment, say like, shit. Like, where am I at? Who was that? Who touched my leg?
Is there someone in the office?
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's just it's interesting. All horror movies are set in the dark, unless you get like a weird thriller. Some of those thriller movies sometimes will be in the daytime, but yeah, it's pretty much there.
I mean, when you think about it, the dark holds silence. I mean, when you turn the darkness down, the silence comes up. So what happens in the silence is the unknown. And that's what really scares the people. Unknown and unexplained. And there is nothing but that in the darkness.
You got the night vision goggles.
Yeah.
That's like the typical way of seeing in the dark if you're a ghost hunter, for you're out actively searching for paranormal activity. It's I don't know. Is there like a vampire-esque kind of way of going about it? Do ghosts, are they harmed by the light? Are they fearful of it? Do they try to shy away from it? Or are they there the whole time, you just can't see them? Think about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the ghosts are just as active during the day as they are at night. However, we just can't see them. Right?
Right. No, that makes sense.
Think about it as the opposite effect, right? Like, hey, I can see a building in the distance, right?
Yeah.
During the daytime. But you turn the lights off or it's dark, I can only see a couple feet in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if it's the opposite with ghosts? And what if you can only see a ghost like right here during the daytime, but maybe they're right there in front of your face. Maybe they're all in the room, but because it's so bright, you don't see their silhouette. You don't see their presence. You don't see that shadow.
Yeah.
You don't see shadows in the daytime.
Right.
And so maybe there's absolutely no difference between day and night when it comes to paranormal activity, but maybe it just becomes more apparent and more obvious to spot out. Maybe it's easier to go fishing and pull those out because now with the lack of light, you can see them. Or the last analogy is you only see the stars at night, and maybe you only see the ghosts at night, and the sun comes out it washes out the stars. Doesn't mean the stars aren't there.
Yeah.
It just means that you can't see them because of the sun.
I mean, it's a good point, because where would the ghosts go during the day? It's not like they're just on a break. Oh, yeah, I can't clock into work until nighttime.
Yeah.
They have to be around doing something, or living with us still. It's just, there with the dark also comes a lot of speculation in your human mind. Like, maybe I'm imagining that there's someone in the hallway. Maybe there isn't actually this or that, but I honestly think that the dark can hold a lot of negative energy and hold a lot of bad omen.
Yeah. Well, it's also kind of the primal, so I'm always a man of science, right?
Science guy.
I always go through this every time we do the show, right? I want to understand what I don't understand through both science and also logical thinking, and, throw some conspiracy theories in there while you're at it.
Mm-hmm.
But why have humans been afraid of the dark? You asked kind of earlier, but it's also just your survival instinct. And so in the dark, you can't defend yourself.
Yeah.
That's when it's tougher to fight off someone in the dark. I mean, imagine if it's pitch black, there's no lights, and you're getting attacked, right? Because and nature, who hunts in the dark? It's
predators,
big cats.
Yeah,
right. Your panthers. You got snakes, nocturnal animals, spiders, and so these things can kill you and eat you.
Right.
And so
and you don't see them coming.
Yes. So in a historical point of view, and looking at it in a scientific point of view, you're probably wired to be afraid of the dark because, well, you can't defend yourself. And if a big cat or big prey comes up, you're done, bro. I can't fight off imagine fighting a 85-pound or 130-pound panther in the dark with no light, bro. Razor sharp claws, 2.5 inches long.
Oh my goodness.
You got no chance.
No chance. Which also begs the question, like, blind people, they always see in the dark. You think they're scared of the dark?
They live in the dark.
So they just accepted it.
But then you have, which has been very symbolic, is the defenses to the dark have always been things that bring light.
Yes.
So that's why there's always symbolic references to like torches, candles, and it's because you're fighting off the dark. And so if we go back to the idea that there are creatures or paranormal activity that they don't want to be in the light and they're scared of it, and kind of that vampire kind of mindset, your one defense might just be the light, right? I mean, if I was you think a cell phone camera, you think that iPhone camera would fight off a demon? What do you think?
If you had your phone and a flashlight, I don't know. I've seen a lot of videos where, you turn on the light, there's nothing there. You turn off the light and there's that, shadowy figure, that image that you see, and then you turn it on and they vanish right away. So, I mean, I think that if you hold your phone flashlight up to something that you see in the dark, it'll probably protect you, keep it away from you.
Well, then there's the interesting, so you got nectophobia, but then you also have nectophilia.
Oh yeah.
So
the people that are
nectophilia is the opposite of nectophobia.
Yeah.
It's people that love the dark.
People that just
yes. Now that is an interesting creature, because now you're going against human psychology and evolution to naturally be afraid of the dark and what you can't see. You have someone that is on the exact polar opposite side of that, and they don't want the light, and they're like a walking vampire of sort, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about that, man?
Nectophilia is a pretty interesting thing if you think about it, because these are the people that spend most of their lives living in the dark, and most of the things that they do are surrounded by darkness, which in turns can involve a lot of things. But usually when you look at science-based and fact-based topics, it's all based with like paranormal activity if you think about it. But nectophilia, man, what do you think about it?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I would like to live in the dark. You know, I feel like if I had a job, a profession that you work during the daytime, or no, you work during the nighttime, and then you slept during the day. Your circadian rhythm isn't going to change when you wake up on your day off.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, if you're working, you know, let's say 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then you sleep during the day, when it's your day off, it's Saturday, Sunday, you're probably on that same schedule. So you probably start living your life. So my curiosity is the nectophilia, is that something that you're born with, or is it something because you're forced to operate in that time zone, you adapt and then end up wanting it, you know? Because a lot of phobias are from life experiences, and also a lot of your pleasures come from your life experiences too. And maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but I'm just, you know, I'm curious to think, is that learned, or is that something you're born with? I don't know, but very interesting. I'd like to know what you think here, the viewer. What's your thoughts on the dark? Is it something you like to spend a lot of time into? And if you have any stories you want to share with us or comments, please comment below, and we would love to hear your thoughts. Also, we're a new channel. Jake is upset that we're not getting enough views.
Come on, what the heck?
We don't have enough subscribers, so help us grow and get bigger. Subscribe and like the video, and until next time, keep the lights on.
Peace.